it's more important than ever that your brand is visually stimulating and it pulls in your customers. Why? Because the marketplace is saturated. No matter what industry you're in, what vertical, there's so many companies. Every day, your customer is being bombarded by tens of thousands of messages. And I believe the only way you can stand out is by having a captivating visual image that pulls in customers. So customers have a very short attention span when it comes to searching for content online. But when they find that content, then they're pulled in, and then they'll spend time with that. So it's really important that you have a captivating visual image that helps your brand stand out. So today we're going to talk about a few things. First, we're going to talk about the rise of visual search. So how did we get here? Why is visual search so important to your customers? Next, we'll talk about ways that you can optimize your brand for visual search. As you know, there's a ton of platforms out here, a ton of channels. We'll talk about what things you can use to optimize your brand for visual search. And last but not least, we'll talk about the next steps. I believe the next 18 to 36 months, it's going to be so amazing when it comes to technology and marketing. Things are changing so fast, whether that be voice analytics, bots, AI, voice search, visual search. Things are happening really fast now. So I'm going to give you kind of my prediction of the future and tell you what your brand can get ready for. So the rise of visual search, why is it so important to your customers? If you think about it, it started from childhood. We were all kids once. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but everybody was a kid once. And before we could walk, before we could talk, before we could speak, before we could tell our parents what we wanted, we had our eyes. We used our eyes to visualize what we wanted. We were in our cribs. We were playing peekaboo with our parents, looking at things. And nothing has changed. Even now as adults, we still view the world visually. That's how we respond. That's how we see things. That's how we interact. Anybody here follow Grant Cardone? Okay, well, he has the 10x rule. I have the 60,000x rule. So our brains are wired and processed. They process visuals 60,000 times faster than text. I'll say it one more time, 60,000 times faster than text. That right there says it all. Our brains are wired for visual images. When we see visuals, they pull us in. There's that old saying that a picture worth 1,000 words. Well, it's really true. Pictures translate so much about your brand and about your value. I said this earlier, but the marketplace is crowded. There's so many brands online. There's so many channels. Your customer has so many opportunities to choose a company, to choose a brand. You have to stand out from the pack. That's the only way you can survive going forward. In fact, the way your customer search has really changed. So gone are the days of customers going to your site and reading tons and tons of text. Gone are the days of the phone books. Your customer now, they're visual. They want to see things that way. And it's really all about the next generation, Generation Z and millennials. These kids, they came out the womb with iPads and phones and email addresses. They respond better to visuals. So combined, they count for about half of the population in the US and have a combined spending power of $245 billion. $245 billion. So I like to say, too, that voice is about your future customer. It's about what's coming next. Visual is about your future customer, I'm sorry. And if you think about it, think about apps, think about phones, think about video, all these things are gaining traction. These are all visual mediums. So going forward, to keep your current and your future customer happy, you have to place a high value on having captivating, stunning images. So studies say that 74% of customers feel that text-based searches are ineffective. I know myself, I spend hours on Google typing in a search, trying to find something, and sometimes your text search just doesn't hit it. But if you could see what you wanted, it would be a little easier. So let's say we did a search for Hawaiian shirts. Hawaiian shirts are very, very colorful and have patterns and designs. If I went to Google now and typed in Hawaiian shirts, I might see this example right here. A lot of text describing the shirt, but once again, I can't see a shirt. So something like this, a visual search, is more appealing. You can see the shirt, you can see the size, you can see the store. And once again, when I can see what I want, I saw that shirt, I can pick it out, and then I can order it. And I believe, too, your customers are demanding that your brand be visible, that your brand have a stunning visual appearance. It's no longer an option. It's not enough to have a great product or great service. You want those things, but I believe equally as important in having an awesome visual identity. It speaks so much about your company, your brand, and your value. I also believe having a captivating visual image to your customer also shortens the sales cycle. When you're constantly talking to your customer, telling them who you are and what you stand for, in their mind, the value of your company, the value of your service increases. What are some ways that you can optimize for visual search? Like I said earlier, there's a ton of ways that you can optimize for search, but what are some that really work for you? So I have some brands and companies that I follow, and I think they really do a really good job of visual search, and I want to talk about some of those companies. So first is Airbnb. Airbnb, I think does a great job having high-quality images on their website. These images pull you in, and they tell you what they're about. And I really feel that hotels and restaurants kind of fall short on this. It's about the ambiance, about the experience. So through these visuals, through these high-quality images, you can pull your customer in. And I know sometimes that can be tough depending on the size of your company, but investing in high-quality images goes a long way, because I really believe that the higher quality the image, in your customer's mind, the higher value of your business. So setting that expectation from the jump is very important. You can do that by having high-quality images across all your platforms, on your website, off your website, across all your mediums. Also, you want to have a consistent visual identity. And when I say that, everywhere your customer sees you, it has to be the same experience, the same visual experience. I think Whole Foods does a great job with this. If you're on the app, if you're on the store, if you're on the website, social media channels, you're seeing the same image over and over again. And once again, I believe having a consistent visual image in your customer's mind, it means more to them. And then also having an image like that that's consistent, it shortens the sales cycle in your customer's mind. They don't have to start over and think about what your brand is or what you're selling, but consistently, if you're telling them visually, this is what I offer, this is what I do, that's going to pull them in. Live video is awesome. I love live video on Facebook as well as Instagram. Something about live video pull your customer in. So recorded video is great, but there's nothing like a live event. There's nothing like going to a concert, going to a sporting event. You want to edit your seat because you don't know what's happening next. That's what live video does. So you want to find ways to use live video in your business now. And the thing I love about live video is it doesn't have to be this great polished production. It can be you videotaping a meeting in your office, reviewing a product or service, or even a customer testimonial. So find ways to bring people into your business by using live video. Next, user-generated content. I think GoPro does a great job of this. They kind of have a leg up because they're in the camera business, but a lot of their ads on TV and online are all user-generated content. So as much as important it is to have a visually captivating image and brand, there's still something in customers' mind that respond better to user-generated content. So, I would recommend going through your social media channels and typing in your hashtag, typing in your name or your brand, and trying to find images that your customer has posted about your brand or service, and repurpose those again, repost those. Because once again, when something comes from a customer that doesn't seem salesy, it means a little bit more. Sometimes the images or videos can be a little low quality, but that's okay because it's a real image coming from a customer, and that means more sometimes than a professional, polished image coming from your brand or your company. Moving on to your website. In many ways, your website is kind of the home base of your company, where people come. No matter what they see on social media, on YouTube or email, your website is where they come. And people really don't read websites anymore. So 80% of people, they skim content. Only about 20 actually read the text. So when it comes to your website, they're scanning, they're looking for images, they're looking for pictures, video, infographics, things that help them digest information better. So I recommend your website, making it's scannable. Not so much text heavy, but finding a happy balance between that. I think Salesforce does a great job with that. This is a copy of their website. I really believe when it comes to your website that sometimes less is more. You want to have that white space. You want to have images. You want to have pictures. And you want to find ways to break up that content to make it more digestible to your customers. We all know this, but you want to optimize for mobile. So everything you put out, whether that's email, whether that's your social media channel, whether that's video, it's going to be viewed on a mobile phone. And when we're talking about visibility now, your mobile phone is paramount. We all know, but the days of the desktop, the days of the laptop are fading away. So visibility for your brand is in your customer's hip. It's on their cell phone. So make sure everything that you put out is optimized for mobile, that it loads fast. If you do have a lot of text that is complex, break it up. Maybe use an accordion effect to kind of break up the content. But make sure everything you do for your brand is digestible on a mobile phone. Next, you want to structure your brand for Google. So what I mean by that is help Google know what's going on in your website. So you can do this by using structured data markup, but where you're telling Google exactly what's on your website. You're tagging all your pictures, you're tagging videos as well, and letting them know. So let's say somebody types in the search for Hawaiian shirts. They'll see that image on Google because you have that tagged on your website. So be sure to go to your website and type in and make sure you have structured data. One way you can do this is type in your site URL, go to Google, Images tab, and see what images come up for your company. And then do an audit of that and go back on your website and make sure that every image, every video, every picture is tagged properly so it can be searched and it can be found. Moving on to video. I personally love video. I think it is an amazing platform in media because online sometimes can be this very cold, this very strange place. You don't know who's on the other end of that screen, but something about video pulls your customer in, where they can hear your voice, hear your story, that pulls them in. It makes them real. It makes that connection. So people that watch video are 85% more likely to buy a product after viewing a video. 85%. So I like to say that video really sells. So you definitely want to find ways in your business to use video because once again, you're making that personal connection. And we all know after Google that YouTube is the #2 search engine. So once again, having video on your website is very important because it makes that bond with your customer and it pulls them in. Also, you want to tell stories with video. I think Gary Vee does a great job with this. It seems that every day, every minute, he's posting a video of him in a car or him giving a speech. And something about video, it makes you an expert. It makes you an authority. No matter what business you're in, no matter how boring it may seem, once your customer sees you in video, it means more. So I'll say document everything. I always say that if you don't get it on video, then it didn't happen. So make sure in your business you're documenting everything. Every time you speak, every time you talk to a customer, tell stories through video. Video is a great way to tell stories. When people can see your story over and over again through video, in their mind, once again, you're defining your service, you're defining your brand, you're defining yourself as a thought leader and an expert, and that's when they want to do business with you. Next, you want to be sure to use captions. So about 85% of videos online are viewed with no sound. People are on their cell phones, maybe at work, on the train, maybe driving, and they're not playing sound. So make sure that every video has captions. And having captions has a lot of positive benefits as far as SEO. So every time you do a video, make sure you have it transcribed as well. Upload that transcription to YouTube and also Facebook. So when the video is played, the people will actually see those captions. You can also hand that transcription to your video editor, and they can place the captions actually in the video as well. This also has a great SEO benefit as well. Once Google can see what's in your copy of your video, then of course, once somebody does a search, it can pull those terms out. Also, on your website, have your video, and under your video, have a transcription of your video again. Something about combining text and images makes it a little easier to follow, not just for your customer. Also, be sure to share your video. So view every video as an evergreen video. Share on different platforms or different mediums. Make it findable. So be sure to fill out a good description of your video, the right tagging, the right keywords. So when somebody does a search, hopefully they find your video. So moving forward, what are the next steps for visual search? So I said earlier, but I believe the next 18 to 36 months are going to be an amazing time within tech. So many things are going to happen. Technology is moving at so fast of a pace. And I really believe that visuals become more and more important. Once again, if you look at the media landscape now, all the apps, all the channels are all being heavy on visuals. So going forward, that's the way your customer is going to search for things, by using visual. So in the future, your smartphone will be used to explore the world. So through augmented reality, there's so many opportunities for your brand to market and also promote your service. And I believe now you want to start tagging. Now you want to start using visual more and more, because companies are growing now, and more visual search is being built onto every platform. So if you start optimizing now for it, when it hits really big in the next 18 or so months, you'll be ready for it. So everything will become searchable. Right now, Google Lens is a great product or service. You can take your cell phone and scan anything. You can scan across the street and see a deli and see the reviews and see the ratings, and also get directions. So once again, having a website that's structured properly, that's have things tagged again like this, whether that's on Yelp, whether that's on Google My Business, is going to make your brand more searchable when these mediums and these platforms become more and more prevalent. Also, shopping habits will change forever. Once again, the phone will become the new shopping experience. You'll be able to go into a store and not try on jeans, but see how they look via augmented reality. Be in your home and not have to guess how a couch or a sofa will look in your dining room, but be able to open your phone and through augmented reality be able to see how that looks in your home. Also, TV will change forever. More and more opportunities for marketers to market their products and services. So TV will become more of an immersive experience with stats, with players, with products popping out the screen and viewing those. So the future is really bright for visual search, because once again, your customer just react better to visual search. So I have a stat here, well not stat, a saying, but I believe the more visible your brand is, the more you will win. The market leaders right now are the brands that are visible, that are telling the same stories over and over again through visual mediums, whether that's pictures, infographics, or videos. I believe the more visible you are, the more you win.